Hey, howdy, hey, fellow armchair Imagineers. Blue Dragon 5 here, hosting another dazzling installment of Disney Debates, Pixar Edition, in honor of Toy Story 5. Now, without further delay, put down the lily pad and grab your favorite deputy as we blast off to infinity and beyond the arena! In this corner, we have a man with daddy issues because his father is none other. Let me rephrase that. In this corner, he thinks he's funny as Mike Wazowski, and when he plays with Rex, he reenacts My Dinner with Andre. It's Tiki!
Oh my god, we really need a Rex My Dinner with Andre parody, dude. Why is that not a thing? We need it. Petition. Dragon, I'm terribly sorry. When you said the daddy issues thing, I thought you were making a callback to my stupid all the best cowboys have daddy issues.
No.
Fucking running joke for whatever reason. It makes a lot more sense for Laserdude. Terribly sorry. All right.
Folks, if we have any technical difficulty, we're just going to blame it on Lilypad as the running joke of the evening, so go with us on that. Okay. Now, in the opposing corner, a man with daddy issues because his father is none other than the evil Emperor Zurg. No! Don't let the name fool you. All he's got is a little light bulb that blinks. It's Lazerdude!
I've just put my debate from stun to kill.
And,
all right, now Dragon, really quick, because you mentioned the whole like father of like Zurg's Buzz's father thing. If they had any balls at all in Toy Story 5, they would have been like, by the way, guys, Zurg is actually me from another timeline, and I got stuck trying to go back to my own timeline, and I became evil. So there you go. Like he takes like fucking 2 full minutes, like whips out a flowchart to explain the twist. Anyways, all right, go ahead, Dragon.
Okay, so joining me from the toy box is Jokers and Mutale Munashiko.
Hello.
Good to be back. Being a judge again.
All right, so how we doing, fellas?
Feeling good? Feeling ready to go?
Same here.
Gonna stomp Tiki out like the eye in Pixar.
Yeah. There's some Luxo in your eye, Tiki. All right, okay.
I mean, half of my name is Eyes, so that makes sense.
Yeah. All right. So, let me do a little refresher on the rules. It's been a while. Laserdude has been busy doing Canadian things. And, for the folks joining us, maybe they've forgotten in a month how we do things, so a little refresher. Okay, so we got 3 main rounds. 3 main round questions. The way it works is you will reveal your pick, then give an opening statement in which you say all the redeeming things, all the reasons why you are right, and then you will fight it out more aggressively, stating why you're right and why the other person is wrong and stupid. Of course, you will continue to fight until you hear this sound from everyone's favorite co-judge, R2-D2. You hear that sound?
Once again, I still cannot hear R2-D2, so stop.
When we announce R2-D2, you will. When we announce R2-D2, it'll be time to deliberate. I mean, I don't want to hear anything else from you guys. The judges will cast the vote for who made the more compelling argument, and whoever gets the most votes gets the point for the round. And that goes on at least 3 times. All right, at the end of 3 rounds, I will present both players with the Catmull coin, named after Ed Catmull, one of the founders of Pixar. Lands heads, you get a point. Lands tails, not so lucky, you lose a point. Of course, after the main round shenanigans, we enter the speed round, in which we will be open to audience questions. So, folks, if you're listening and you stick with us, you can submit questions, and we will be inclined to use them, and you get to decide who gets the point for the speed round. And basically, when we get to the speed round, it's a race to 5 points. First to 5 points wins the game. Gentlemen, do you understand these rules as I have explained them to you both here this evening?
I do.
I do.
Okay, great. Let's cue the randomizer. Let's find out who's going
because
first.
Toy Story 3 or Toy Story 5 had an emphasis on weddings and stuff. Get it?
I wasn't
Sure.
making a reference. I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, Tiki, so,
Well, it's in the trailers anyways. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Marvel
Anyway,
at my
let's-
cleverness.
Let's cue the randomizer before we suffer through any more failed stand-up. Okay.
All right, you guys are probably not even going to see this. Just fucking announce it.
All right, so before we hit the button, we have Laserdude and we have Tiki. It's in alphabetical order, and we're going to hit the randomizer and see who's going first and who's going second.
All right, let's do it. It's like Laserdude's going first. Nothing's changed.
No changes. Unpredictable.
Right.
Very lazy randomizer.
Yep. All right, time for round numero uno. What is the funniest joke in all of the Toy Story franchise? Laserdude.
I said it's the claw reveal after the gut-wrenching scene in Toy Story 3.
Tiki. What's your name?
I only have 4 words for you, Dragon. I am Mrs. Nesbit.
All right. Laserdude, dazzle me with an opening statement.
There's this thing that happens in media that I like to call emotional whiplash. It's usually done in movies and stuff to take you feeling one emotion instantly into feeling another while you're experiencing it. The biggest examples of this I can think of is like Jaws, where you're laughing at the joke or the scene in Jaws, and then the shark jumps up, and you go from laughing to screaming. I can also think of the movie Serenity. When Wash is killed, you go from laughing when he's like, "I'm a leaf on the wind," to utter despair after he's killed. But this is a different type of emotional whiplash because we just go from the scene of all of the toys embracing and accepting that they're going to die, hanging on to each other, basically saying, "Well, if we're gonna go, we're gonna go with each other." And everyone in there is hanging onto the edge of their seat saying, "No, they wouldn't, but I don't see how." And you're just filled with dread and despair. And then out of nowhere, the claw comes up, and it's a callback to the line in the first movie, "The claw." It's the biggest laugh because it comes with the biggest relief. But it's also a callback to a scene that was very prevalent and very, I remember every single kid at that time when Toy Story came out, whenever you went to a dollar store and grabbed one of those little claw things, they were all saying, "The claw." It was one of the biggest things that everyone quoted with Toy Story. And so to bring it back in such a poignant, as a callback, as a joke, as something that makes you laugh, but also relieved after the emotional whiplash, it just makes it the funniest, best joke done in all of Pixar.
All right, Tiki.
I think I Am Mrs. Nesbit is one of the, it's not "you're a sad, strange little man, you're a toy." I felt that was maybe a little too obvious. But it's up there as, one of the most quotable things. And honestly, Laserdude, I will counter you. Well, I have a lot of arguments against your scene that I'll save for the actual, debate
Opening
part.
statements, man.
But I will say that mine also has that sort of whiplash thing that you're going for, where this comes pretty immediately after "I Will Go Sailing No More." And I think it's a great way where we're still Buzz is full on crashing out. Like, Buzz is full on having an existential meltdown, but it's so ridiculous. The imagery of the tea party, just Tim Allen's vocal delivery, just the sheer, like, desperation of the situation with Woody, Woody just being completely exasperated, like, oh my god, you spent the whole movie as a space ranger and now this. Once again, it's like it is a great release from the sheer pathos of I will go sailing no more. Absolutely it is. But at the same time, man, it's a riot. It's full on just comedy gold. It's character writing at its absolute finest. It's one of the scenes that put Pixar on the map when it came to character writing. So yeah, that's it.
All right, folks, the Dynaco sign is lit. Fight it out.
The incinerator scene is too dark. It's too dark. It's too dark. That's the problem.
That's an opinion. That's not a fact.
It's a relief. It's a relief. Sure. It's a release. Sure. It's not gut-bustingly funny. It's a callback. I would, like, my scene is also a tonal release, but it is also a tonal release from something that's not literal World War II Holocaust imagery.
No, but your scene is just kind of amusing. It's like I don't see this as a gut-busting scene because all he's saying is, "Look, I'm a lady." It's only funny because of the way Tim Allen delivers it. If anyone else was delivering this in a not as funny a way, it wouldn't have been any notable scene. Where my scene is a huge moment, but it makes you laugh, but it also it pulls you out of the despair that you were in and brings you back into the joy that you were supposed to be in. And I think that's the biggest thing is like it gives you the biggest laugh, not because it's the most clever gut-bunching thing, but it's a callback to a scene in a way that hasn't been referenced. It's not like they were constantly always going the claw over and over again throughout the Toy Story franchise.
That's actually one of my points against yours is that we barely see that. Like the aliens are barely in Toy Story 3 at all, and then they just kind of like randomly pop up. Like throughout the whole movie, throughout all of Toy Story 1, Buzz is going through a legit existential crisis. You can't deny that. He is going through it. And Mrs. Nesbit is the comedic relief after the low of lows, after that devastating Randy Newman song, after the scene that put Pixar on the map. The
funniest joke in the scene, the Mary Antoinette and her little sister, is a way more clever joke. Sure, it goes over the heads of kids, but it's a way more clever joke that makes you laugh now upon looking back way more. That it's just him saying something in a funny voice. It's not a joke that is funny. It's just funny because it's a guy saying something in a silly voice.
But I would counter that my joke...
aliens don't need to be in the franchise too much because it's a poignant scene. Everybody who's seen the Toy Story, no one's going, what are they? What? Oh, they're still here? No, they were referenced enough to keep them prevalent, but not foreshadow the amazing scene that came, which is the dropping of the claw and the callback and the release of all that pent up, energy. And to just attack the point of, oh, it's too dark. Too dark? Like what? What do you? I mean, you sound like one of those parents that goes on the news is like, "Oh, my kid's all Finding Nemo, and now he wants to shoot up something." It's like, what do you mean?
I mean, I just think that, like I said, it's like we're talking comedy. We're talking, like, I know I have Jewish friends, okay, that were legitimately traumatized by the incinerator scene. Like, they still love Toy Story 3. They still think it's a very powerful movie. But you bet your ass they're not, like, busting a gut, like, oh my god, it's a callback! It's a callback! It's the thing from the first movie! And I'm sorry, Lazerdude, but yours is kind of member berries, my guy. Yours is kind of member berries. I know that you guys are going to roll your eyes at me saying that, but South Park made it a terminology to begin. It's a callback. I barely even consider it a joke.
It's a joke on multiple levels other than here's just a silly voice. Wah, wah, wah.
Okay, but my scene is, like I said, it's this, like, yes, I chose the I am Mrs. Nesbit line because we're talking moment. We're talking specific joke. But I think the whole scene is funny. You're right. The Marie Antoinette stuff, awesome. Woody's exasperation, awesome. It's comedy gold all the way around. I Am Mrs. Nesbitt is just the peak of the comedy. It is the punchline of the comedy, and it's still got the tonal whiplash of coming out of I Will Go Sailing No More. Yours is a tonal release. I will give you that. Yours is like, oh, thank God. But like when that moment happens in theaters, frankly, Laserdude, I don't think anyone is going directly from the incinerator to I recognize the aliens.
You got reactions.
No, they're going, oh, thank God. Oh, my God. I'm so relieved. It is relief. It is not comedy.
I don't even think your scene's in the movie. Make some reactions.
Wait, what did you say? You don't think my scene's in the movie?
No, I was meaning to say, when I watch movie reactors all the time, and this scene, everyone's laughing for me. For your scene, I don't even really think it's in the reactions for people, because it's not that poignant.
I mean, people quote I Am Mrs. Nesbitt all the damn time.
In Disney circles, everybody was quoting the Claw.
In all of the Buzz Lightyear performances. I don't know. I mean, you can just sit here. You can just sit here and say that nobody laughs at it, that nobody quotes it. But like,
I'm not saying nobody laughs at it. I'm just saying to say it's the funniest moment when it's just a guy doing a silly voice.
Yeah, I am saying that. I absolutely am saying that. Deal with it.
Yeah, you can say whatever you want, but it's up to everyone else to see who's right.
All right.
Okay, we're done.
pretty clean debate.
Okay,
Okay. Personally, I don't think both of you guys are the funniest, but I guess if I had to pick between the two, I guess I kind of would go to Tiki because, the incinerator thing, when there was like the relief they weren't gonna die, I didn't laugh. I was just kind of relieved. And with the Mrs. Nesbitt thing, it is actually kind of funny. Like Buzz, like for the whole movie, does think of himself as a space ranger, and then once he discovers he's not that, he just behaves like that. So yeah, I'm gonna go to Tiki.
All right, Jokers.
I think this whole round was baffling. I think Laserdude picked like a weird choice, and Tiki's argument was kind of weird for reasons that I'm not going to get into here. But I do think that Tiki had the better argument, so I'm going to go with Tiki.
Okay. All right. I think Joker's gonna hit on something that it was a little. I think Tiki had the better joke, and I wish I heard better reasoning for it. I think Laserdude, again, I think he had a slightly better argument, but I don't know. I don't think he really. I don't think his digs against Tiki were strong enough. I just think his argument, like for why his was better, I think it's kind of an iffy argument. Either way, Tiki gets the point, and I guess I would kind of err more on the side of I think Tiki ultimately was more right. So I'm gonna say it's a clean sweep for Tiki in round one.
All right, thank you guys, appreciate it. And Laserdude, no hard feelings. I got super heated.
Oh no, we're debating junk here.
Yeah, when sorry.
It's not. There's no ever hard feelings. You can call me what you want in the middle of a debate. We're good, man.
Yeah,
all right.
Tiki, when you said that you had Jewish friends who were traumatized, I was like, whoa. You would go.
This is true, though. I've had conversations about the incinerator scene. Like I have, anyways. I won't get into it. But
yeah, let's not get into this part of the argument here.
Put the yarmulke down, Tiki. It's okay. Okay.
Let's not say that either. Let's move on.
Oh shit! Oh god.
We can move on to
wow.
Okay, real quick. Code Geass has a moment he pitched as a joke he pitched.
Mm-hmm.
I think that Emperor Zurg acting like a dad after having previously acted like a villain, basically at the very end, like go along, Buzzy, is a contender for funniest moment.
Yeah, I think that's the funniest to me personally as well.
It's a good joke.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, that brings us to round numero dos. What is the best moment? Well, sorry, it probably says, in honor of Cars' 20th anniversary, what is the best moment from the original Cars? The one from 2006. All right, Laserdude.
I picked the opening race that sets up the entire movie.
The Dynaco 400 race for the folks out there.
Yeah.
All right, Tiki.
And I picked the Randy Newman written and composed, James Taylor performed, beautiful montage that is Our Town.
All right, Laserdude. Dazzle me.
I recently, well, not recently, but I done a review on Cars, and I honestly don't think Cars is a spectacular movie, but I do think it does have one thing that's spectacular about it, and that's the opening scene, because this scene has to do a lot. It has to do a lot to get you to get on board with the world that is just a world populated by cars. And it has to get you into the story of the race and all these characters are and everything, and get you invested in the stakes of the race. And it does all of this beautifully with the commentaries by the people who are commentating on the race, with the we can see Lightning's attitude and Chick Hicks' aggression, and Dynaco's guys just this calm demeanor. You can read all of it just without them having to say a thing, and just read on what is happening in the moment. And honestly, the thing that I think about more with this scene, I think Cars would get zero grief if this was a Pixar short. If it ended with like, hey, it's a tie, and like Lightning McQueen looks at Chick Hicks and says, "Ready for round 2," and then that was like the end of the short. That would be like a perfect Pixar short in my mind. So in that regard, I still think it's the best. I think the movie goes a little bit downhill after it, but to me, the pinnacle doesn't get any better than the first part.
All right, Tiki.
Yeah, so I think that Our Town is one of the most underrated segments in any Pixar movie. I think it's freaking beautiful. It's heartbreaking in its own kind of way. Is it like a total like rip your heart out and like stomp on it moment like when Somebody Loved Me or Married Life? No, it's not supposed to be that, but it is such a reflection of small town America and how small town America and those values and those towns have changed, have shifted. Dragon, we don't have time to get into the whole thing, but when Dragon and I did our Cars 20th anniversary retrospective podcast, I was very thoughtful about this this town that's near the Russian River, where I live, that is pretty much a Radiator Springs, where it's not on the freeway. You have to like go into the redwoods to get to it, and it used to be a booming tourist town, and now it's just kind of dying. And I look at stuff like that, and I think this song just captures it perfectly. I think the music is perfectly melancholy. The imagery is great. Like, just the way that you see the cars in the town, like and just the whole theme, the thing that makes the scene tragic is the fact that the cars are like expecting the interstate to bring traffic, and instead the complete opposite happens, and you just see that play out. And I mean, you want to talk about a short, like, yeah, I definitely think that the opening of the film, it sets the stage well, for sure. It is iconic, but I think this could also just be a standalone short, just as far as like being a commentary, like I said, on that sort of like the lost values of the small town America. And I think it's very powerful, very potent, and very underrated.
All right, guys, let the race begin.
Oh, boo-hoo. People had to move to a different town. That's the thing that gets me about this movie. It's like, it's not tragic, It's the same thing happened when the railways moved in and other towns got left behind. But people didn't die. They just moved away. like, oh well, it's not. Why is it tragic that people moved on to different places?
It's literally not about people moving away, though, Laserdude. It's literally not about people moving away. It's about the same people in the town
that just couldn't cut it. So what? Move away.
But it's about the community that sticks together through that hardship at the same time. That's the beating heart of the film. That's the thesis statement of the film. I think your scene is good. I think your scene is a solid introduction into the Cars universe. I will give you that. I just think that I honestly think you're just being, frankly, like everybody else who's just like, oh well, Cars is just dumb, and it's like there is so much heart to Cars.
I don't say it's a dumb movie. I didn't give it a negative review when I reviewed it. I think it's fine. I just think this scene, it's supposed to be the emotional crutch of it all, and it's just like
that's my point. It is more than fine, and nobody gives it the credit it deserves. I'm not saying it's a Pixar masterpiece on the same level of something like Finding Nemo or Up or something like that, but it is so solid, and like I said, the themes that movie explores, the slowing down and taking it easy, and
I'm not here to debate the validity of the franchise or anything like that. I'm here to debate these scenes.
No, I'm just debating.
I think 19 just wrapped up everything perfectly. I'm just thinking. I think the scene that I'm talking about, it just puts everything in a nice little package that just tells you everything you need to know. It sets up everything about the characters, but after that, it just kind of meanders along a little bit. And I think this scene is supposed to be. You say it's not trying to be the scene with Jesse from Toy Story 2, but I feel like that's exactly what they're going for, and it just doesn't hit as much because the emotional thing is just like, oh, I guess people didn't come to our town.
Going for something a little different. They're not, like I said, it's not actively trying to be gut-wrenching. It is trying to be melancholy, and there is a difference. It is not trying to rip your heart out. It's trying to make you reflect. It's trying to make you stop and kind of think about it. And that's what the whole movie is. The whole movie is about Lightning McQueen is speed.
No, the whole movie is Lightning being a jerk and his cockiness showing that.
But without literally everything else that follows the opening segment, which is good, there's no heart. There's literally no thematic integrity to Cars. It is just about a race car that goes vroom and goes fast, and he's kind of cocky. But Chick Hicks is a little cockier. I don't know, man. This is Pixar we're talking about. We're not talking about Looney Tunes.
Here's the biggest thing about this. Lightning McQueen has absolutely no stakes in this. This, it absolutely has nothing to do to relate to him as a character. It doesn't tell him anything. It doesn't relate to him. It's about everybody else in town.
He has a very close relationship with Sally by the point of the movie. He has stakes with Doc Hudson. That's the whole point of the goddamn movie, is that he has stakes with these people. It's that he's getting to know these people and love these people, and it is such a beautiful commentary on small town values and on community and coming together in the face of hardship. And you are just writing it the fuck off.
Yeah,
because
I
Cars
don't
go
think it's as deep as you're making it out to be.
All you like is the racing.
If you want to see that, more emotional drama, I think that scene of Doc Hudson at the end is a much better scene that plays off of the emotional necessities of the character and foreshadows for Lightning McQueen what is going to happen to him in the future. I think that whole scene with him pushing, the champ across the line, that's a way more emotional for him, and it relates to him. Where this is just like, hey, this town used to be bigger.
You didn't pick that scene, and Lightning McQueen never would have gotten into that scene.
I think the opening was better.
Lightning McQueen never would have gotten to that scene to begin with, had it not been for the emotional journey he went on, and a big part of that is reflecting on what happened to the goddamn town. Cock-a-doodie on!
Okay, I think we got it. All right, we got it. Okay, Mutale, who are you coming down on here?
Okay, I'm gonna go with Jokers because, well, I admit I haven't seen Cars in a long time. I do really like.
You mean Laserdude?
I think the first scene.
No. He said what he said.
Hey, Jokers isn't playing.
Well, it's just I don't know. I do remember like the first scene with Lightning McQueen racing actually being kind of cool. So yeah, I guess I'll just give it that.
Okay, Mutel,
And I can't really say for you as Tiki because I don't remember cars that much. I just remembered the racing scene in the beginning.
Okay, well, I guess it's fine. It's fine.
Okay, well, Mutel, who's your point going to?
It's Jokers.
Okay, well, but Jokers is on the panel with you. Okay,
no,
you mean Laserdude?
Put me on the board.
Laserdude, sorry. Laserdude, sorry.
Okay.
We're not doing another three-way debate. We don't have the time.
Like the one time we don't do the boxes, it's like, all right. Okay. Okay, that's a vote for Laserdude, just to clarify. My vote's for Tiki.
Yeah.
Okay, Jokers.
I am also giving my point to Joker Wild. I'm going to keep this brief because I don't even like cars, but I think that some of the arguments coming from some people, like a really interesting, like totally off-mark idea of what Cars is trying to be and what it's about. But outside of that, I think that Tiki had the better arguments, so I'm gonna give it to Tiki.
Okay. It looks like Tiki wins for this round, so that's 2 on the board for Tiki.
I don't know why I'm being so aggro with this debate, guys. I apologize.
Well, Cars is your sensitive underbelly.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's see. Let's go to, well, we have some comments here real quick from Code Geass. Let's see. People, okay, I guess that one. For me, the best thing about Cars is in a particular moment, it's the animation. Even Cars 2 has great animation. I mean, fair point. It's good. People, or cars, moving away can be sad. The episode of Blue's Clues where Steve moves to college is emotional. Yeah.
Good point.
Yep. And Eli in the comments is telling you to take it down a notch, Tiki. He's like, it's like that gag freakazoid, like, Tiki, settle.
All right.
That brings us to round number 3. So, in honor of the very exciting news that dropped this month, in honor of the retro release of the Toy Story games on PlayStation.
Yes, I did hear about that. Yeah,
I don't think it's not just PlayStation. There's a few consoles like PlayStation, Switch, and I think it's just PlayStation and Switch. But point being, the retro release of all like not just a Toy Story, like all the Toy Story games and A Bug's Life, just for good measure. Which has me jazzed out of my mind, and I bought that instantly. I reserved my copy instantly, as you can probably imagine. Inspired this question: which Pixar film should get a new video game? So this was existing or not attempted yet, so it was all on the board. Even if it's already gotten the game, which one deserves a brand new game? So the answers, gentlemen.
Pixar's Onward.
Onward. Tiki.
Hoppers.
All right, Laserdude. Go for it.
When I really thought about this, I was thinking about a bunch of them for the franchise, but a lot of them that did have some, I thought, like you could do another Incredibles game. It would be pretty good to have a modern one. But then I thought there is no movie that better encapsulates the entire video game progression system than Onward. You have these two characters, one who has magical powers and slowly develops them throughout the game. And I was thinking the way that you would handle this is you have it more kind of like as a sequel to the game where you're in an open world or whatever, and it's all this modern fantasy stuff, but also magic has started to come back into the world now because of what Ian is done, and so now maybe there's a new bad guy, a new threat, but you could also use flashbacks to train with the previous abilities, to get the lightning bolts, to get the walking on the air, to get the speed boost, and all this stuff that he developed throughout the course of the film. You could use flashbacks to scenes from the movie in order to do a tutorial level and culminate in the boss fight with the dragon at the school. I feel like all of that would just be perfect for the video game progression system, and using the movie, maybe not entirely, but even if you did, you can still do that. There's a lot of ways you can have fun with action and adventure, and even just like I think of like the mom sending you on like a simple errand that always turns out to be a ginormous undertaking because you always run into something along the way. But no matter what, there's plenty of characters, plenty of abilities, and plenty of progression that you can do with the entire universe of Onward.
All right, Tiki.
So I think a Hopper's video game would be a great marriage of like the general kind of like action RPG genre of something like a Kingdom Hearts, with the game mechanics of something like a Mario Odyssey, where you're swapping in between a bunch of different like creatures that have different abilities, different move sets, different ways to navigate the environment, with the tone and setting of something like an Earthbound, where and granted, I know that Jokers is the Earthbound expert. I haven't actually played Earthbound. My familiarity with it mostly comes from Smash. But, where you're in a suburban environment, but there's crazy kind of cartoony stuff happening, but there's also pathos. And I don't know, man. I just think those three things would make for just a really, really great game. I wasn't thinking about, that's all I was thinking about was game design. I just think that being able to hop into any animal would be a really, really cool mechanic. I also think that I don't want the whole movie to be this, or the whole game to be this. I don't want the whole game to basically be like, okay, guys, like, let's just totally go hog wild on the Pixar theory side of Hoppers. But we did see that blackboard, and that blackboard had a lot of Pixar Easter eggs in it that we could explore in a video game. And so that's my basic pitch. I just think that the gameplay would just be very seamless. I could just totally picture it. It's basically like Mario Odyssey with more of like an RPG kind of leaning to it, where you're like going on quests and adventures and solving puzzles and stuff. But then also having that Earthbound kind of humor, and then mixed with, forget about Earthbound, mixed with the humor of the movie, which, dare I say, I think Hoppers, like I'm a big champion of Hoppers. I think Hoppers, it's probably not like a top 5 Pixar movie by any means, but I think it is maybe the Pixar equivalent to something like The Emperor's New Groove, just as far as how well it utilizes comedy. So I just think that the whole thing could just come together in just a great cocktail of a video game. There's just so many different like ingredients to it that would work together well, I think.
All right, let's let the games begin, guys.
Just a clarification, I've never seen Hoppers, but in the movie, she can now go from a beaver to other animals?
You know what? I knew this was going to come up as soon as I started talking about it. So let's say that, for clarification, how it works in the movie is that there's pre-made animals. It's like Avatar. It is like Avatar. They're not lying.
Okay.
There's pre-made bodies of animals. But what I think you could do is I think you could just expand the tech. I think, I don't think it'd be that hard to, because the whole thing with Hoppers is that you have the scientist characters who, and again, I'm sorry if this is getting a little convoluted. Like it's implied.
I think that's the biggest problem with your game, Tiki. You're combining like 4 different games into one and just saying, yeah, it'll just flow together. There's so many different franchises of video games that try to combine everything into one vision, and it just becomes a cluster. Where I think Onward is a very easy, and in fact, I feel like it would work better as a video game than it did as a movie.
Generic fantasy suburban setting. So I don't know what to tell you.
Oh yeah, name one other game that's fantasy and suburban. Okay, I'll take your stunned silence and I'll keep it going. See, I think the thing is that is the setting that would make it interesting. The combination of the magic and the technology. And you can do that more and more throughout the game. You know, maybe your character gets a bike and then now you can make the bike, fly. Or maybe your character can do something with the modern and the magical combined together. Where yours is that you're just like, what would you even do? Just exploring a woods and look, there's a bear. Now I'm a bear. Now I'm a cow. Like I don't see what the actual thing is. I mean, all video games are just made to waste time, I'm sure. But I feel like Onward fits better into the video game world mold because it's tackling something that I don't think. I think Hoppers is you're just putting too many eggs in one basket and forcing them to make an omelet.
I mean, maybe like what I had in mind as far as like the setting goes, because you do make a fair point. It wouldn't just be in the woods. I think it'd be interesting to expand out into the city, to expand, like go throughout maybe the state. Like have like a beach level, have like, like it would still all be mostly suburban.
What are
but
you
can
doing?
explore.
Is the problem? You're just looking
Well,
around. There's the beach. There's the woods.
No, you would be sort of you'd be. Look, I haven't thought that far ahead to the actual plot of the game. I was mostly thinking about the game mechanics, and I admit that. But here's the thing: is that for me, when I play a video game, I am all about the game mechanics, and I think taking control of different animals and solving puzzles and doing platforming and going on quests and adventures in a suburban setting. I don't know that sounds
What
pretty
platforming
cool.
do you do? I thought you were in the woods or at a beach.
Dude, are you fucking kidding me? There's so many platforming levels throughout video game history that are based on woods and beaches. Come on now.
Sure, but most of
There's a
them
way
are
to do
designed
it.
in a
There's
way
a
for
way
jumping
to do
around.
it.
Like, wait,
And it's not just
3D game or was
platforming.
it
Like I said, I
scroller?
use Kingdom Hearts as my example here. Kingdom Hearts isn't just
Okay, so
platforming.
it's
It's also
3D.
puzzle solving and adventure and combat, but it has platforming elements to it. Kingdom Hearts is a
Okay,
game
so what are you
that
fighting?
should not work. It should not it's got the Disney and the Square and yet it does. It combines all these different genres and these different elements. I think the same thing could be done with Hoppers.
It's just not a natural fit, though. It's like, okay, your character is a beaver, but are they going to do beaver things? Are they going to do
No, your
anything? And now
character is
you're
a
bear and
is a teenage like nature activist who's going
And
into
there's-
all these different animals. The character doesn't have to be the beaver. The beaver can basically not even be involved in the gameplay. That's the appealing thing of Hoppers.
So
to
wait,
me as
you're
a
adapting the
game.
most recognizable aspect of the movie.
You're
but
not
doesn't have to
adapting
do
it.
that?
You're making a sequel to it. You're making a
No, that's not
sequel
the
to it that expands the world, that expands the technology that people are very curious about because it's very heavily implied that the technology leads into different parts of the Pixar universe. Like, for example, on the blackboard, just as one example, we see the talking dog collars from Up. And like I said, I don't want the whole game to just be Pixar Easter eggs, but I do think there is certain things that you can do.
Yeah, but I feel like that's cheating to the question if you're just like, yeah, it's this movie, but also could be other movies as well in there as well. I mean, at least
I'm not
stick to
saying
the
other
one
movies,
topic.
dude. I'm saying an extension of Hoppers.
I feel like just Onward is a better fit. It has a lot of side characters that could give you missions for your character to go on. It has plenty of different abilities that would be fun to use in a video game. And I like that it's this fantasy suburban combination, and it just makes it a seamless fit for video games. It's a shame that they didn't adapt this into a video
your
game.
game sounds like a decent licensed game from the 2000s where it's like, yeah, we're going to go through the universe.
Sounds like a game,
and the characters are going to give you quests to go on. Like, that's the thing is that at least I'm taking some swings when it comes to the gameplay. Like, yeah, Onward,
You're throwing everything
admit,
at the wall, but not
give me a little
presenting
bit with
clear
the
vision.
suburban fantasy thing. You got me a little bit with that. I'll admit that. But, I still think it's generic. I still think you're just going through a fantasy setting at the end of the day. I don't know. And also, let's just call a spade, okay? Hoppers didn't like blow up the box office, but Onward is an infamous bomb. Granted, I know why.
That has nothing to do with the question. It's talking about which one would be a better video game. Box office results are not even a question about that.
I think marketability comes with the territory. You gotta be marketable. Nobody gives a shit about Onward, okay? Maybe they should. Maybe they shouldn't. Nobody gives a shit. It is one of the most The Good Dinosaur is more memorable than Onward because it's so bad. Okay?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if nobody saw it. It still would make a better video game than Hoppers.
Okay, done. Okay, we're gonna take a sec here. I'm gonna need to grill the lily pad on this one. Okay, Mutali, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, Mutali, can you mute for a second for me? I just want to test something.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Wait. Oh. Okay, I think we got it. Okay, got it. Okay, Mattelli. Yeah. So the background noise, I think we've concentrated. Okay, that's coming from your end. So just mute when we're doing the debate stuff. Okay. Like not during your ruling or when you have something to say. Just when we have the contestants like debating their points, please. Thank you. Okay. All right. Okay. So I'm gonna cast the first stone here. All right. My ruling on this one is I think Lazerdude made the more compelling argument. So I'm gonna cast the vote for Lazerdude. All right, Jokers.
Yeah, I conversely. I don't know what is going on tonight, but I personally, what I got out of this is I think that Laserdude is being willfully obtuse with a lot of the argument, and I think that kind of ruined his argument within that. Furthermore, I think that Tiki had better arguments outside of the merits of the idea. I do also think he had the better idea, like as a concept, but I think that he defended himself pretty well. So I'm going to go with Tiki.
All right, Mutale, you're the deciding vote. So why don't you let us know who you think should get the point this round?
You might have to unmute yourself.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Mutale, you might be muted, so just be aware of that. I hope you can hear us.
While we're waiting, I obviously couldn't say this during the argument, but there's a lot of video games that put fantasy into a modern setting or a modern-ish setting.
Yeah, I kind of froze on that, but I couldn't think of one off the top of my head. But like, I mean, a lot of Final Fantasy games kind of.
Yeah, that was the first thing that came to mind. Even things like The Witcher, where it's like still medieval, like it has missions where you go to the bank. Like it's.
Yeah, but there's no cars.
I mean, if you want to do that, there's games like that coffee game that's been going around the indie scene right now, where you like.
Well, I mean, like everything's been done under the sun. I just don't think there's been a big like AAA type game.
Forspoken. That was a big one from maybe 2 years ago. It was a Square Enix game, so Final Fantasy adjacent, but very similar. There's a lot of games that have even things like Earthbound. For me,
I'm like I look at Final Fantasy and sure they use like magic in there, but I just view that more of a full-on science fiction setting. You know, it's still not medieval stuff.
If you play,
they have magical abilities, but it doesn't feel like modern day and science fiction combined, or and fantasy combined.
For
was my
example,
more
if you
point.
play the remake of Final Fantasy VII, you're going around a modern city, which does have sci-fi elements, using a sword, using magic, fighting monsters. Like, it's pretty fantasy.
Hey,
But
Dragon,
there's definitely
we
a
straight up lost Metallic.
I know. I think he
Oh,
hit
did
a
we?
button, so we're waiting on him to come back. We gotta read some comments in the meantime, though. So that's basically gonna wait on who gets the point. But until then, Code Geass, he concurs that Hoppers would have been his answer too, because Hoppers is one of his favorite Pixar films outside the Toy Story or Inside Out franchises. Let's see. It says Onward has a few heartfelt scenes, but aside from that, it feels like it's a forgettable film. Bit harsh, but
I don't really.
Yeah,
think he's
as I
wrong.
said,
like
is like I agree with the fact that Onward is a forgettable film. I just think that it would make it a good video game.
let's see. What does Monkey have to say? We have one of our collaborators here in the comments.
Says, I know this is late, but shouting out the way that Buzz was ultimately able to get the key in Toy Story 4 is for the funniest moments category. Why can I say that word? Jesus Christ.
Candidacy.
Okay. You
Good
did your
job.
best.
Someone
Thank
playing
you
a
for
music.
that.
Someone playing a musical instrument.
Now, who could that be? Also, Tiki, you were or both of you really, both were debating how the gameplay could work in your Hoppers game. The way I pictured it was kind of like Mario Galaxy, and I think that kind of does a lot of the heavy lifting of that argument for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew I ran into a little bit of trouble just because like it's not like in Hoppers you can just instantly switch from body to body, but I don't know. I think you can explain that away where it's like, oh,
Yeah.
we have a new development in the Hoppers technology where you can hop right into the brain waves of an animal. I don't know.
I was a little bit like shooting a little bit for the hip with Hopper because I hadn't seen it yet, so I was just like trying to do my best to read what you were saying and go against that. But
Yeah, I think you had. I definitely think you had some solid arguments. But Dragon, I don't know like. Are we really going to sit here and wait indefinitely for like?
Let's
one
leave it up
right?
to the audience.
That's kind of what I'm thinking at this point.
Monkey, are you still here? Who do you choose?
I would throw it to Kogios just because Kogios is like I don't know if Rob was here for the whole debate.
I mean, he said Hoppers would have been his answer. I don't know if that's
Yeah, it would have been his answer. That doesn't
that's a
necessarily mean
biased
that
opinion.
he thinks I made the best argument. I don't know.
Okay,
Dragon,
okay. Do we want to leave it up to a coin flip?
Coin's never been my friend. But
Yeah, not
you obviously got to
necessarily,
move
but
on.
like I also don't want to wait here indefinitely.
You can call it a draw until we can hear back from him.
All right. Fine. Okay. Hold on a second.
What does R2D2 think?
All right. Okay. Look, if it's up to R2D2, I guess I'm just gonna. I guess I'll use the vacated seat here. I'm gonna make a call. All right. I'm gonna give the point. Give the point to Laserdude.
Okay.
That's Laser. Okay, so
Fair enough.
yeah. So Metalli blew up, folks. I have no idea what happened to him. He might be dead. So, but he was a nice contributor. I'm gonna miss him.
Tiki, you know what you have to do? Get Perkron on the horn.
Peregrine is definitely not available tonight.
Damn
Yeah.
it. Fuck.
I mean, now we're into the speed round, so now you guys just take turns, I guess.
Yeah, we're fine now.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So, we've gotten through the main round. By the skin of our teeth, we've gotten through it. So I'm going to award you both a little coin. You both get a Catmull coin. So, Lazerdude, you want to flip it?
No.
Well, give me one
No.
second. Give me 1 second. Sorry, guys. I'm updating the score really quick. Then I'll switch over to the coin.
All right, Lazerdude, do you have the
Just
reflect?
answer
Just
the question.
use the time to
no.
reflect.
I barely got this point. You can almost say it's a technicality, so I'm keeping it.
Okay, fine. Well, you're not keeping it. You're putting it back in the piggy bank.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm not using the coin as a.
Okay, that's fine. All right, Tiki, would you like the flip?
No.
Okay.
I know it's flipping anyways, but that's just because my fucking browser is being weird.
If it flipped, that means it flipped to you.
Let's see what would have happened.
What would have happened is we landed
just
on
flipped
heads.
the heads.
Yeah, I'm bad lag.
So Lazerdude would have gotten the point.
Lag. I don't know.
So it looks like Lazerdude would have gotten the point. Tiki would have lost the point. So Lazerdude, that's what could have happened.
Man, I could have been up 2-1, but okay, it's fine. I always have more faith in myself in the speed round than I do the random chance of a coin.
All right, so we are entering the speed round. Now, the way speed round works, folks, is it's 30 seconds on the clock, followed by a 15-second rebuttal. We are now open to audience questions. That's right. You, dear viewer, can pitch a Pixar-related question, and we will be heavily inclined to use it, and you have the power to decide which of these schlubs made the more compelling argument and gets the point, and you could change their destiny and their fate and help them win the game. You can do that.
Please, not all of you at once, one at a time, please.
Yeah. We got to build suspense a little, so you know. Anyway, to warm things up, how about a Muppet question?
Let's do it.
All right. So, Andrew Stanton, the director of Toy Story 5, as well as Finding Nemo and WALL-E, of course, has also been a great co-director himself, as well as very much a guy who works with a lot of great co-directors, so including on this film. So that begs the question, and you understand with this history of great co-directors, which Muppet should co-direct with Andrew Stanton next time he directs?
Now, just to be clear, it could be any movie.
Yeah, I was just saying, like, whatever, like, amorphous thing Andrew Stanton directs next. Whatever is a movie, yes, not a TV show. Like a movie that he directs.
I'm going to go with Scooter.
Okay. Tiki says Scooter.
Considering it, but I think... For me, I think I'm actually going to go with Kermit.
All right, going with the frog.
Right.
All right.
What I like about Scooter compared to Kermit, because I feel like our choices are very similar because they're kind of like the straight men who get shit done. I feel like Scooter, he is cool as a cucumber. Like Kermit, like we love Kermit, but he can get angry. He can snap at people. What I like about the idea of Scooter being in the mix is Scooter is just the straight man who's going to steer the ship. He's going to let Stanton like go crazy with his ideas, but it'll be like, Andrew, that might be a little too much.
You know, putting together an animated film is a large undertaking, and I think Kermit is just the best person to do it because he is the only one keeping the Muppets together. Every time Kermit stops doing it, everybody falls apart. And I feel like that's the type of person you want as your partner on a big project. Someone who can get people together, get people in line, get people working as a team. And, you know, with Kermit running the most dysfunctional group of family that he's ever had, working with Pixar people would just be a cinch for him.
I mean, If anything, I think working with Pixar people might be too boring for Kermit. I feel like he might go stir crazy, not micromanaging stuff. Whereas Scooter, the dude's a pro. The dude is just a total pro who's going to get shit done, and he's going to get shit done in a professional, calm way.
Oh, let's be real here. Scooter isn't unequal. He's a yes man. Scooter doesn't have an original thought in his mind. He always says, here you go. Yes, let's do that. That's a good plan. He doesn't come up with any ideas on his own. Andrew Stan's going to need somebody who has his own input that he can add to it, not just say, yeah, a good idea.
Yeah.
Okay, he went like 3 seconds over, so I'm just going to say Andrew Stanton is the idea man. All right.
Okay.
Sorry, there's a little bit of delay on my screen.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying I took advantage of it anyways.
That's fine. No, I'm just telling why it took 3 seconds over.
All right, let's see. Okay, these are both interesting picks. Yeah, the picks I would have gone with, because I got to be honest. Part of me thinks, Gonzo or Fozzie would have been a fun choice if I was just throwing my own legs off the top of my head. Kind of a pitch there, but I'm gonna go with Laserdude on this. I'm gonna give the point to Laserdude, so it's 2-2.
Whew.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, those were the only 2 answers, because I feel like any other Muppet, you're gonna have to manage them. They're gonna be more of a problem than a help.
I'm just saying, like, Bob Peterson was really funny, and that's kind of like a Fozzie Bear type of co-director. It's
okay, but there's such an easy takedown of Fozzie Bear. It's like, hey, you want to have bad humor in a Pixar movie? That's kind of fun. Yeah. I love Fozzie, but that's kind of his whole shtick.
Yeah. Well, you need the bounce ideas, and you have a lot of wrong ideas before you land the right one, so it would give you a good back and forth.
Yeah. Gonzo would destroy Pixar Studios.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. What's Code Geass have?
You want to use the question?
Yeah.
Okay. I will say it. Audience question: if Toy Story 6 happens, which villain from the Toy Story franchise should be the main villain?
I mean, I feel like there's only 2. I'm gonna go with Lotso.
I'm gonna go with Stinky Pete.
Yep, that was the only. I feel like we got the 2, man. Yep. We got the 2.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. I think there's unfinished business with Lotso. I think he's also the character that would be the most out there in terms of wanting revenge. He had everything he wanted perfect, and yet it was taken away from him. So I think he is the character that is driven enough to go and get it go get revenge on the toys. I feel like he is capable. He is charismatic. He can get people to his side, and I feel like he is the perfect, most villainous character, and there's unfinished business with him leading them there.
Okay, revenge is not an interesting villain arc. You know what's an interesting villain arc? Wanting redemption and wanting to seek redemption in a villainous way. And with Stinky Pete, I can just see that, because the whole thing with Stinky Pete is that he doesn't have a side of him that wants to be played with. He had all of his sides are just being the collectible. That is it. And I feel like, especially for Toy Story 6, going back to Woody's roots, going back to the, I just think it makes a lot more sense than just like, hey, let's bring, like, Lotso is the Palpatine option.
Okay, we're going to give Laserdude a little more time on that one.
Sir,
I-
I'll tell you what's not fair. Spending a
hold
lifetime
on,
on a
Laser Dude.
sorry.
Hold on, Laser Dude.
Sorry.
Hold on.
Sorry,
Dragon,
I thought it was Mike.
like he's consistently getting more time because there's a delay with the clock. So I don't know what to do here. I feel like if anything, he's got
You know
the
what?
advantage.
How about I'll start? I can use my own clock. I'll set it for 30 seconds, and that way, you can hit go. I'll start talking, and you can use the timer more of a way to track my time.
Well, it's going to be 15 seconds now with the rebuttal.
Oh yes, 15 seconds now. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, ready?
Whenever you start talking.
Stinky Pete literally said that it's not fair that he spent an entire existence on a shelf watching every other toy being sold and played with. Yes, he wants to be played with. I think he'll be fine and happy with that little girl. Where Lotso is entirely driven by.
I'll admit I haven't watched Toy Story 2 in a while, but from what I remember, his whole motivation was going to Japan and being in the museum. So I do not think Stinky Pete is okay with just being a plaything. And that's the thing, is that Lotso is going to find his way to a kid, and that's all he wants at the end of the day. That's not what Stinky Pete wants.
All right, Kogias. Who gets the point?
Dragon, can you fact check the did Stinky Pete want to be played with thing?
Well, he hated being on the dime store shelf and not bought, so presumably, yes, he did want to be played with. And by the end of Toy Story 2, he is actually kind of on a track of being played with. There's a bit of Toy Story 2 lore I've always heard about. I've never been able to track down. I heard there was like this kind of epilogue thing with Toy Story 2 that they did, and it was like you saw Stinky Pete kind of pleased to being played with by the girl that found him. But I've never been able to track it. I heard it was a clip, but it might have been like a written interview. I don't.
I think not that it would count. I'm going to wait to say my point until after Kogias answers, because I don't want it to.
For sure.
But from what
about
is
the museum thing though, Dragon? Like, because the big thing I remember about Stinky Pete is in the climax, like he is gung ho about going to Japan to be put in the museum.
He wanted to be played with because that's what every toy wanted, and then he just resigned himself to the fate of like, well, the next best thing is I'm going to be appreciated by children, but I'll be like in the state that I'm kind of in right now. So I'll be at the museum, which is basically the whole reason Woody almost went to the museum. The whole thing of like you'll be adored by children.
It as his patience, was paying off. Like all of this suffering was not for nothing.
All being passed over and unloved by children basically would be redeemed, or would be he still wanted to be appreciated by a child at the end of the day. He kind of wanted.
Lotso definitely wasn't going to be played with anybody. He was tied to the front end of a truck at a garbage dump.
All right, so Kogia says, first off, my answer would have been Emperor Zurg. Second off, I think that both contestants made really good arguments, but I think Tiki's explanation was more compelling of the two, so he's voting Tiki.
You make Zurg the villain of Toy Story 6, and you somehow use the Lightyear twist.
He's a Buzz toy underneath the head underneath the mask.
Oh yeah.
Oh God. Exactly.
If they really wanted to redeem it, though, it'd be Buzz with the evil goatee from Buzz Lightyear Star Command.
Oh man.
All right.
I still think that like the whole thing in Toy Story. I mean, I don't. Laserdude, there is I won't spoil the exact context, but there is a joke where they do directly reference the fact that Zurg is Buzz's father in Toy Story 5. And that is just such a fucking retcon of Lightyear, dude. They're like, yeah. Lightyear doesn't count.
Yeah.
And that too, if anyone has the ability to retcon, it would be the guy who's literally the voice of Zurg from Toy Story 2. I think he's the one, like, okay, he's got a say on that. Star Fox made it.
Star Fox, yeah, Al would have been a decent.
That would have been, honestly, if I had been keen enough, that would have been my pick. Al, I think, would have been the go-to choice because we think about
Oh
it.
man, now I
Al
regret
has
not
been.
doing
I feel just like now the toys have been played with so much, they just wouldn't have the value anymore, and there's no reason for like Al doesn't know they're alive, so there's no reason for him to have like a
Remember though,
revenge arc.
no.
I
Here's
feel
the
like
thing.
you'd just be doing Toy Story 2 again.
Hey, in Toy Story of Terror, Al was present during that, so we've set him up.
That's true. That's true.
He tried buying them through eBay.
Anyways.
He's still after them. Okay. Let's see. Also, Little Blue says you can make the argument that Zurg was one of the three villains in Toy Story. Okay, well, we've already established that. All right. So let's see. So it's 2-3 right now, and okay. Let's see. I think we have Mutale back just for the heck of it.
Oh, we do.
Yeah.
One
All right.
second.
Hello.
Hey.
And again. God.
Yeah. All right, so just moving on, we have some good ones here. Okay, let's. Okay. Okay. Which Marvel actor gave the best performance in a Pixar film?
Oh, jeez. I need to look up that. Because a few are coming to mind, but they're not. I'm not sure if I would consider them the best.
Dragon, is the question.
What?
Dragon, the question is which Marvel actor who's also been in a Pixar movie, correct?
Yes. Who's already been in a Pixar film? Which performance is the best? Which Marvel actor gave the best performance in a Pixar film that has been out that we've seen?
Oh, Samuel L. Jackson.
Okay.
Would Michael Keaton count?
Yep.
Yeah.
He was 10. So.
Yeah, but you have
Which
to pick
one, Ken or Chick
Michael,
Hicks?
That's the one. That's who you gotta pick.
Chick Hicks.
Okay.
Chick Hicks.
Okay. All right. Laserdude, I guess you're gonna start whenever you're ready.
You know, Samuel L. Jackson is just the coolest person, and he voices Frozone with such the perfect amount of flair. I love how he's Bob's friend. He's, somebody who really can get along with him, but he also has his own attitude. The scene where he's freezing the cop as they look like bad guys is just perfect. It's one of the things where he just does such a good job portraying this character. You almost want him to be the star of the film. It's and the Where's My Super Suit is just too good.
I love Frozone, but Frozone by and large is Samuel Jackson. Like it's just one of those things where they clearly wrote the character around the actor. I think with Michael Keaton, what you get with Chick Hicks is you get something so memorable, so over the top funny. He's still cited as a fan favorite Pixar villain, even though he maybe has 10 minutes of screen time. The choices he makes with his voice, the Kerchiga, he just transforms himself into the role.
You're right. Frozone could only be played by Samuel L. Jackson, and Chick Hicks could have been played by anybody. That's exactly my point, is that Samuel L. Jackson his character just is in the Frozone because that's who he is. He exemplifies, personality and cool.
Okay, I'm sorry, my guy, but I kind of fundamentally disagree with your point, man. Like, acting is transformation. Acting is being able to take a character that you are nothing like in real life and doing it. I mean, I do not get your point there.
All right, Mutale.
Okay. I actually never realized Keaton was Chick Hicks, but Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Sam Jackson's Frozone because yes, you can argue it is Sam Jackson, but it's Sam Jackson. He's hilarious, and I think the most funniest part of that movie is just him arguing about to his wife about his super suit. So yeah, go with that.
Okay, tied up 3-3. Okay, here's a question submitted by Jacob Weil, who had better things to do today, I guess. Besides Toy Story and Monsters Inc., which Pixar world should be added to Kingdom Hearts next?
Oh, fuck me. That's a good
Oh.
one.
You know,
Is
maybe-
anything the other ones have?
Well, I think it's only been those two.
Okay.
Those Jokers.
Okay,
Are
well,
you
this
aware
is-
of any others? Or okay,
The only
I
Pixar
were-
worlds in Kingdom Hearts were Toy Story, Monsters Inc.
there we go.
If I were a dick, I just choose Onward and just literally like recycle Laserdude's points. But,
Yeah.
no, I'm
And
gonna
then
go
I
Incredibles.
choose the other
Are you
one.
gonna
we can
do Lee
argue
Berman,
against
Tiki?
each
Are
other.
you gonna do that?
No, I'm doing Incredibles.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good pick. That's a good pick.
Mutale, mute your mic, please.
Without exiting the call.
Okay, I'm just going through Pixar's entire catalog, and like, it's got to be a movie that has a bunch of characters that you would want to meet, not just like one main character or something. So it's got to be a bigger cast. It's got to be an era you would like to be in. I know that Little Mermaid is notorious for being a terrible level, so I'm not going.
I have a feeling you're not going to pick Cars.
No, it's not.
Cars,
not
I
part of
would.
my-
I could make an argument for Cars. I could
Oh,
make
yeah.
an argument for
Want
Cars.
to take it? I'll take Incredibles.
No, easy.
I want to
No,
see
just
Donald
kidding.
as a scooter.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That my argument for Cars is that the actual transformation designs for Sora, Donald, and Goofy could potentially be really cool. Anyways,
Goofy's a sedan.
that totally fits.
Wait. So does he blow up while someone's saying Apollonia?
I'm gonna screw it. I'm gonna say Wally.
Okay.
Okay, that's solid. That's really solid. Okay.
All right.
Alrighty. The Incredibles just makes too much sense, man. It's focused on action. It's focused on combat. You can do so many cool boss fights. You can have a cool Keyblade, cool summons characters, but it's also like the Fast and the Furious because it's all about family and it's all about friendship, and that's what Kingdom Hearts is about. So you've got the best of both worlds. You've got something that combines the action and combat of Kingdom Hearts with the actual heart and pathos and character-driven stuff of Kingdom Hearts. It's perfect.
I think Wally is it's a unique place. It's not the place that you would most want to see because it's a garbage-filled planet in a spaceship, and it has some really fun stuff that you can do with it. The Earth being a wasteland and now infected with this darkness, when it's just starting to get itself back on track. If it's taken place after the spaceship has landed and it's just starting to go against it, and maybe it revises the auto and you get a big boss fight of the ship trying to attack you while you're moving through it. I think that would just be great.
Laserdude, I'm sorry, but like you literally were like, let's see. We have to have a world that has a lot of characters that you can interact with. And Wally, I'm sorry, it's a great movie, but the ensemble cast is not one of the great things about that movie.
Yeah, I had to choose world over, the interesting world over the ensemble cast. Where I think that's where Incredibles it lacks. It's just a city. It's just there's not that many interesting dynamics to it other than just it's a place there.
Okay. Jokers, would you like to do the honors?
Yeah, I can do it. First, Tiki, you ready?
What?
Are you ready, Tiki?
I guess so.
Goofy says, Sora, I'm a convertible. And this top comes down. Sora, I'm a four-door. I'm going to give this to Tiki. I think he had some better points. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Dragon, I'm just going to go ahead and mute Metalli. I'm not going to kick him out, but I have the power to mute him myself, so I'm going to exercise that power. All right. Metalli, I'm sorry, man. You just got some buzzing going on in the background. It's kind of driving me crazy a little bit. No offense against you personally. Anyways. Okay.
All right, let me see. Do we want a quick draw or a regular question?
Well, first of all, let me update the score. I would prefer a regular one, but I don't know. I mean, I feel like you guys should decide, not the players.
Well, it's going to open those. Hoping jokers would hear that, but Okay.
I want to decide the question.
Okay, let's see. All right. Okay. Here we go. We're gonna do a quick draw.
Okay.
Okay. In honor of this being an anniversary year, what's the better Pixar movie?
Okay.
Cars or Monsters Inc.?
Monsters Inc.
Fuck it. I mean, I feel like this isn't really a fair fight, but whatever. I love Cars. Let's go. I can do it.
All right.
I don't know, Dragon. I don't know, man. This question is basically like, as a quick draw question, man. It's like, okay, what are the most?
That's why the quick draw is the most important part of it, I guess.
I guess, yeah. Okay, well, you go, Laserdude.
Just 1 second to get my phone ready.
What?
He's getting his phone ready.
Sorry, I had to just re-sign into my phone. Yep.
My bad. Go ahead.
Monsters Inc. is one of the best Pixar movies, bar none. It was made in the Pixar golden age. It has heart, it has humor, it has cleverness, the world it creates. It leaves you with so many scenes and moments that just are ensnared in your brain and will never leave. The doors scene, just, all the different scenes with the monsters and going through the doors into the child's closet, feeding on that thing that we all felt as a kid. It's just a perfect movie.
I think Cars doesn't get nearly enough credit for being one of the most important pieces of the Pixar catalog. I'm talking about that first movie. I mean, obviously the merchandise was, a big part of Pixar's success, but I genuinely think that the whole thing with Cars is that the entire ensemble is wonderful. The town itself is a character in a way that no other setting in any other Pixar movie is. The animation is breathtaking. The freaking Paul Newman's last role.
The Cars was the beginning of the downfall for Pixar. They were perfect, and then Cars was, and then it just came on from there. The animation is good for the world and the backgrounds, but the cars look too cartoony in it. It's a mismatch of everything, and plus it's a story that's a Hallmark movie. A guy goes to a small town and finds a true meaning. Sorry, that was a little low.
Okay, I'm giving myself like 3 extra seconds on that one.
Yeah, that's fair.
Laserdude, I literally flipped off my monitor when you said that, because I am so sick of the argument. Cars 2 might have been the downfall, might have been the start of the downfall, but you're saying that fucking Ratatouille and WALL-E and Up and fucking Toy Story 3? Yeah, sure, downfall.
Okay. All right. Okay, All right. Yeah, I think I gotta give it to Tiki. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So that's game.
That's the game.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Laserdude, but it's like you can't just say that. Like, oh, it was all downhill after
Part
Cars.
of the downfall. I didn't say it was.
There were
like,
no
the
other
end.
good Pixar movies made.
I never said it was the end of Pixar. I just said it was the start of the.
You said it was the beginning of the end. You said it was the downhill. Anyways,
I said it. I didn't say it was all downhill. I said it was the start of the downfall.
Okay, Dragon. I don't know if this is my celebration music, but it seems appropriate.
Wait, yeah,
I think it is.
Okay. So when does that, Dragon?
All right, folks. So that brings us to a close for our second Pixar debate of the year. We want to thank everyone for tuning in. We want to thank we have Little Blue in the comments, Star Fox, Diaz, Monkey. Yeah, and so again, thanks for tuning in, folks. Until the next debate, and again, tune in this Sunday when we're talking Toy Story 5 proper. Take care, friends. Remember, you got a friend in me. Goodbye.